there is not parity when it comes to a team that you love. I know that you do. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets. You were really high on these guys in the preseason. They're 6-0 for the first time since 2011. Josh, why were you so confident in them before the season, and what have they done to reaffirm that belief in them to this point?
Well, I watched them play. I know not everyone does that, and that's okay. Some of them even vote in polls and don't watch Georgia Tech play. That's not okay, but it's okay. I watched them at the end of last year, Maria. I'm convinced if you and I changed one thing about the past and we just changed the multiple overtime game, Georgia Tech, and just have it go Georgia Tech's way. I'm convinced they would have been on the front of a lot of preview magazines this year. And they would have been the toast of the town, and they were everyone's darling and everyone's sleeper, but they didn't win that game, and it doesn't make them any different a team coming into this year. I just feel like they had a lot less focus or a lot less attention on them. So what they've done so far is they've won every game that they've played. I feel like also that's a team I don't have to doubt the identity of. Now, they don't always fulfill on it. Like Brent Key, we've seen him irate at times this year. We've seen him happy at times this year. But that's not a place where they're trying to feel their way through. And we've said that about some other outposts in the ACC. Who are they? What's their identity? Well, Georgia Tech's not one of those teams. So now, I mean, they're in the meat of their conference schedule. They got a game against Duke coming up, which I also think will get overlooked nationally. That's one of the low-key best games of the week. And that's one that whenever Georgia Tech is where they're going to be in December, I think that Duke game's probably what we're looking back on saying, well, that was the hinge point that led to this. Now, the tough part for you and I is we don't know what this is yet because the game hasn't been played yet.
I remember you picked them to play in an ACC championship, right, preseason?
Yeah, and that's why you can't see it on camera because it's unprofessional, but both of my fingers were crossed down here just below the table. Yes, I did. And yes, I'm standing behind every word of that prediction so far.
You and I both. I really think that they're going to do it. And this is a team where players returned simply to capitalize on stuff that they did not finish last year. One of those would be their quarterback, Haynes King. I know he's getting a little bit more attention nationally, but this guy, he is a baller. He's scrappy. He plays the quarterback position better than most. Do you believe that he's one of the best college quarterbacks right now?
Yeah, I'm glad you actually said it that way because there's this disease that creeps into college football sometimes. It's called mock draft disease. And people think that you have to have some mock draft out there projecting you as a first round quarterback in order to kind of verify your existence as a good college quarterback. Well, I'm a college first and foremost guy. I couldn't care less about mock drafts. And so I couldn't care less whether the Pittsburgh Steelers would draft Haynes King in the first round. What I do care about is he winning games for Georgia Tech? And the answer is a definitive yes. He is winning games for Georgia Tech. I would argue, I've actually looked at the AP poll because it was off to my right here. I would actually argue of all these teams that are in the top 10, top 15, is there any player out there that's more important to their team's ranking right now than Haynes King is? What is Georgia Tech without Haynes King? I've watched Texas Tech lose their starter a couple of times this year. They just keep on humming. God forbid if I ever have to watch Georgia Tech a few series without Haynes King. And that's not a knock on Georgia Tech. It's a credit to Haynes King. And it's also a credit to that coaching staff because we just used the word identity. That's the core. That's the nucleus of their identity right now. And it's nothing to criticize. It's something to actually credit because they realized here's who we have. Here's what we can be. Let's build around it. And let's hope our fastball is good enough. So far, their fastball's been good enough.